Corona. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Sorry, guys. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Actually, I'm being forced to re-record this because I think, okay, this is embarrassing. This is very INFJ-ish. I'm pretty sure I didn't press record, and I was talking for like 4 to 5 minutes earlier. So the whole first part of my video didn't record. So what I did was I came back to my car, of course wearing my handy mask, and I'll record the beginning of this video from my car. And then I'll cut to the part that of me talking. Okay? How about that? Deal? Cool. Alright. So, actually, you know what? Let me just go ahead and unmask. What does he look like underneath? The world was dying to know. Was he deformed? Was he beautiful? Oh my God. Oh. He had a freshly shaven mustache, some slight stubble from a few days of laziness on his beard. He was normal. Sorry. Okay, anyways. What's up, guys? So, in light of the fact that I didn't even delete my footage. I never had footage that I thought I had before. I will talk about some things that I already talked about and attempt to make it seem like this is my first time talking about them for you guys' benefit. First things first. What is Myers-Briggs? Who was she or he? And what did they do? Just kidding. But what is the MBTI, Myers-Briggs personality test? Like, in a nutshell, it's a test that attempts to loosely define our personalities, so that they can help, so that we can relate, so that we can understand ourselves and others better, and so that we can develop relationships in a more healthy way, live our lives according to who we are, which is really super cool. So basically, they give us, and I may actually have the footage where I said this, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself. You're not going to forgive me, are you? If I'm repeating myself, you're most likely going to turn this video off. If you do that, could you at least make sure you give it a like before you turn it off? Because the algorithms. The algorithms are more dangerous than coronavirus. They're terrible. And the only way we're going to beat them is if we work together. Anyways, 4 letters, and each letter is associated with a trait, like a personality trait. Like, each letter is associated with one of 2 personality traits, and depending on the one you get, that helps you to understand who you are as a person. Yeah, and then it gets super deep, and you know, you can look up like your cognitive stack, which is like an order of operations for the way that you think. I don't know if you remember math, or if you want to remember math, but there's like an order to which you do everything. Like, you do multiplication first, and then you do addition, and so on and so forth. This is like that, but for your mind. Like, what does your mind do first, second, third, and last? So yeah, it gets real deep. It gets awesome. I love it. And if you haven't taken the test, like, and you like these videos or you find them interesting, like, go take it. It takes, like, there's free online ones where you don't need to pay, and they're not 100% accurate, but they're pretty cool, and they're pretty good. Like, maybe I'll link one in the comment, in the caption. Yeah, you can just Google it too. Just Google, like, Myers-Briggs personality test and click the first link, and should be a test there for you. But yeah, it goes into depth on a lot of stuff. One of the main things that I'm sure most of you have heard about is introversion versus extroversion, which a lot of people actually get confused on. They think it means something that it doesn't necessarily mean. So introversion, extroversion seems self-explanatory, but it's not. A lot of people think that if you're an extrovert, it means that you're social, and if you're an introvert, it means that you're a loner. And not really. Like, there are a lot of social introverts. Introversion just means, like, cognitively, do we gather energy? A simple way of explaining is, do we gather energy when we're by ourselves? Do we gather energy when we're with others? We can still like socializing and stuff, but we need the time alone because we need to regenerate. And time with others is a task. It's a task. It might be a task we enjoy, but it's a task. It's draining. Another simple way to ask yourself this is, like, after being around people, do I feel like I need to escape and be by myself and then I regenerate? Or maybe it's the opposite if you're an extrovert. I'm not an extrovert, so I don't know this, but I'm assuming you guys feel like when you're alone too long, you're like, oh my gosh, like, I need to get out. I need to be around people. This is draining me being by myself. I don't know if that's the case. I have never felt anything close to that. I'm a super introvert. So anyway, I think that those are the main things that I missed talking about. Not missed talking about. I literally talked about them to no one. I literally held my phone up like this, and I spoke to a phone that was not recording me. So, if you never, God, if you ever need anybody to make a fool of themselves, hit me up. Hit me up in the comment section. Say, hey, I've actually been looking for a fool. You're the guy. And yeah, for the right price, I'll be your fool. Anyways, I guess I'm going to jump to the actual video now. So. Hey guys. So, as promised, I was gonna come and talk to you about some of the things that can cause an INFJ stress. And there's a lot. I mean, the things that can cause an INFJ stress are a lot of times the things that can cause anyone stress. But I guess the difference is that the reason that they cause us stress is important when we're trying to figure out how to make changes to reduce stress. So, it might be obvious, but we can go like letter by letter. So for those of you guys that aren't super familiar with the Myers-Briggs MBTI personality test, basically what happens is you're given a series of letters, and those letters help to loosely define your personality. So you're also graded on the strength of each of those characteristics. The first letter is going to be either an I or an E, signifying whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. The second letter is a N or an S, signifying whether you are an intuitive or a sensor. The third letter is a T or an F, signifying whether you're a thinker or a feeler. And the fourth letter is a J or a P, and that lets people know whether you're a judge or a perceiver. So, in terms of introversion and extroversion, I am an introvert, a hardcore introvert. Meaning I get, a lot of people are confused at what that means. It doesn't mean social or antisocial or anything like that. It doesn't mean introverts can't have fun around people. It means that primarily, an easy way to understand it is, where do you get your energy? Do you get your energy when you're alone, or are you getting your energy when you're around other people? Am I somebody who, after a day, is just totally exhausted and wants to just shut himself off from people. If the answer is yes to that, you're an introvert. That's me. Yeah, if you're the person that's at a party and then, just needs to escape after a certain amount of time, then you're an introvert. In terms of intuition and sensing, sensing more deals with what it sounds like. You sense the things around you or within you. It's the here and now, the present. Intuition is pattern detection, so subconscious pattern detection, basically. So do you make your decisions and gather your information based off of more sensory input, or is it recognizing underlying patterns and projecting those patterns out to the future? And for thinking and feeling, this one a lot of people get confused at, because they think if someone's a feeler, they're not using logic or they're not thinking. That's not true, especially not for INFJs like myself. I'm a feeling type, meaning that the majority of the way I think about information and make my decisions is based off of how people are going to feel, or how people do feel. And if you're an introverted feeler, it's how you feel. If you have extroverted feeling like I do, then it's how people around you, generally speaking, how they're going to feel. What are they going to think? Meanwhile, thinkers are basing more of their decisions on what they consider to be absolute truths or facts or results that are less correlated with emotion and feeling. And for judging or versus perceiving, judging is basically like structure, rigidity, it's organization. Meanwhile, perceiving is spontaneity, flexibility, and I guess maybe disorganization or chaos. Chaos is a better way of saying it. I love my ENFPs. As you guys know, I always say this. I'll always keep saying it. But they are, and they're chaotic. That's one of the lovable things about them. I am very organized in terms of how this is outwardly. This is not how you are internally. Like, P-types often have their own type of chaotic organization or method to the madness, but outwardly they don't project as much organization, scheduling, things like that as judging types like myself. So I'm INFJ, introverted, intuitive, feeling, judging. And with that being said, stressors are going to correlate to those characteristics. So if I'm introverted, naturally a stressor is going to be being put into maybe large crowds, right? Where I don't have any intimate connection, I'm unfamiliar with a lot of people, that is going to be a stressor for me. Another stressor is going to be if I'm put in an environment where there's not a lot of harmony amongst the people that I'm around or the people in the room. So like social, like discord, like clashing with people. Some people deal with that tension between one another very well. INFJs typically don't. We want to create, that's why we're often counselor types. We want to create harmony amongst the people in our surroundings. And that's what's called extroverted feeling. Introverted feeling has to do with creating harmony within yourself, and other types have that. Now, when I'm talking about this, don't think that like just because you have, introverted feeling and you're worried about harmony within yourself doesn't mean you can never worry about other people. It's not like that. We all do a little bit of all of these things. Our type is just talk about what we're most comfortable doing and what we prioritize generally. So, another stressor for, we don't deal well with people being upset with us or being upset with other people who we have to be around. We can sometimes be stressed out by large groups. We are going to be stressed out by then this is a big one, this is important. We are often stressed out by being put into situations that are unexpected, that aren't according to our plan. And this is something that I was talking to a friend about recently. Couldn't really understand why he was stressed. Like, what is it? Like, why am I so stressed about this pandemic, coronavirus? Why am I so stressed about work? And it's because he's a judging type. He likes to plan. He likes to be organized. And when we're put into an environment of change, or we're asked to make an important decision quickly, or we're asked to deal with a situation that we don't have experience with, especially INFJ, we have what's called introverted thinking, meaning deduction. But we don't have high extroverted thinking, which is basically, the easiest way to put it is how to best get something done. So everything about us is totally like in chaos, in inner discord when we when like a situation, an unexpected situation where we have no reference or no context point is thrust on us. So that type of like chaotic situation that we feel totally unprepared for is gonna stress us, typically. Doesn't mean we can't figure it out. It means that's going to cause us anxiety, typically, unless we have coping mechanisms. So, yeah, what else? Sorry for the distraction. It's gonna look like a jump cut in the final edit. This is Baltimore, you cannot control your surroundings, so I apologize for that. But, yeah, so extroverted sensing is our lowest function, meaning we can do it, but we prefer to do it in the background. So activities that require us to do either a lot of sensing, or a lot of the strictly thinking without using intuition, which is a focus on patterns and the bigger picture and the future. Those are the tasks that bother us if we do them a lot. So are we having to do very monotonous tasks? That's going to cause stress. Think about your job. If your job is asking you to do monotonous tasks where you're just focused in the moment and not on a big picture, just getting something done, that's not for an INFJ. It's just not how we're built. And that's going to cause stress. If you are, maybe you're doing like a finance spreadsheet and you have to pick out the errors, or you're programming and you have to pick out the small details. Again, we can do it, but eventually that's going to cause this tension and the stress. And maybe rage, maybe rage eventually. I hate doing monotonous tasks. Like for me, my intuition is not only like my primary function, but it's also my strongest rated attribute on the test. And anything that is asking me to focus, to ignore patterns, or to focus only on the minutia and not how the minutia applies to a theory or a bigger picture or a dynamic, those things are going to bother me a lot, immensely. Immensely. So yeah, things like that, and I'm sure I'm missing some details, but details, anything that is asking us to pick out small details, again, is going to be exhausting. Anything that's asking us to be in the moment, I love being in the moment, but the longer an INFJ is in the moment, the more energy he's expending or she's expending, because that is, again, an inferior function, and that takes more for us to go and grab it. So that's kind of how it works. If you look at your, go on Google and type cognitive functions and type your personality type, and look at that list, and you can kind of think, whatever is asking you to use the lower functions on that list, that's going to be stressful too. So, yeah. All right, guys. So the video is going super long, and what I decided to do is just like break it into 2 parts. So for now, make sure that you have already liked and subscribed, because We got to beat the algorithms, guys. Like, this is the real battle. Like, I mean, coronavirus. The real battle is against the algorithms so that I can boost my video up. Like, obviously, we need to have our priorities straight. You guys need to like the video and subscribe, okay? I'm tired of asking nicely. Like, what do I need to do? Don't make me come over there. That was the most unthreatening threat that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, you guys know I love you too much. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. The second part will be right after this, so you could just like, if there's a way to like put it at the end of the video, like, then I'll do it. If not, then click my channel, click the next video. This is part 1. See you guys in part 2. Just go.